I'm Pastor George Borgard, and this is another Higher Things video short. Faith and love. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. Hey, if you love our videos, if you are learning about your Christian faith in places you never expected to learn about your faith from, a Missouri Synod Lutheran pastor and his Jack Russell Terrier named Thor, go ahead and like and subscribe today. You can also go to support.higherthings.org and give today. Your tax-deductible gift keeps Higher Things, a youth organization all about passing the faith to the next generation. Keeps us rolling. It's November. Go ahead and hit the subscribe for the sake of November. It's November. Hit the subscribe. Oh, there's deer meat in my hands, and so he's, as you can tell, he loves him some deer meat. Thank you, hunters, for your wonderful gift. All right. Our Bible study takes us to Galatians 5:6. In Christ, neither circumcision nor uncircumcision counts for anything, but only faith working through love. I love this. Remember, they told the Galatians, the sneaky Judaizing preachers snuck in, and they told the Galatians that Jesus loved them and faith alone saves them. But what they really needed to do, hey buddy, but what they really needed to do was get circumcised. They needed to keep the Jewish law. And if they would just do that, then their salvation would be super sure, as opposed to just the way it is. And so, hey, buddy, you see it? Oh, let's see if we can get it in there. All right. But what Paul says is he says, look, that doesn't matter. If you want to know what matters in the Christian faith, faith working through love. So there's works going on, and that is the works that are going on rest in Jesus. Jesus does them. Faith does them. The working going on is faith. Faith working through love. Faith saves, but faith all by itself isn't any good for your neighbor. And so the Lord would have you live your faith out in loving service for your neighbor. And that's what the apostle says. What's most important is salvation by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, lived out in your neighbor, in love toward your neighbor. All right, so that your neighbor would be blessed, so that your neighbor would be lifted up. See, Christianity isn't only about you being saved; it's about your neighbor too. And so here the apostle says, look, circumcision, uncircumcision, keeping the law, that's not what matters. Especially unbiblical ones. What matters is that faith in you is lived out in love toward your neighbor. Love happens at the neighbor point. Love happens when your neighbor is on the receiving end of your Jesus. And so as we sort of go through this, if you're ever told what you need to do to be saved, pick it, whatever it is, you could tell them, look, it's about faith and love for me. It's not about tongues for me. It's not about making a decision for Christ. It's not about only being a better person. It's about, for me, it's about faith lived out in my neighbor. This isn't that works save, because the thing that's working is faith. Faith, which is alive in you. It's not a dead thing. It's a live thing. Live and active in loving service to your neighbor. All those things that we think are important, that we think is going to make us a real Christian, all of it takes our eyes off of Jesus and his faith, and the fruit of his faith is loving service to our neighbor. I'm Pastor George Borgard, and this has been another Higher Things video short.